Hello there, hello there, hello there. Welcome back to the Agostino Zinga Show with your host, Agostino Zinga, and this is episode number 817. That is Ocho Uno Siete with your host, Agostino Zinga. I hope you're doing well wherever this podcast may find you. I hope you are doing swimmingly. How am I? All good, all things considered, I cannot lie. All good, all things considered, I cannot lie. Today I was very fortunate. Today I was very lucky. I happened to have a very free bench press machine today. On my day off, I was finally lucky that when I went to the gym later than I usually like to go to the gym, the bench press was free. You know how many times I get on here and I talk about my issues with finding a free bench press in the gym and the little mental fights I have with people and having to put your plates next to the machine to make sure you get on it. I'm so thankful that today of all days, on my day off today, I was able and willing and ready to take advantage of the free bench. Everybody scream. Okay, cool, great. The other thing that I was also thinking about today, and I'm not sure if I'm kind of softening on my stances just to be that kind of guy to soften on stances, but I've got some very strong opinions about birthdays. Where I think if you're over the age of 18, you shouldn't celebrate them. I think they're very self-indulgent. They're very selfish. They're very greedy. They're very attention-seeking. They're very narcissistic in a way. And they bring out the worst in all of us. I think so. It's like the birthday version of a bridezilla. I hate it. But my stance is softening now. Because I heard somebody say recently, and this is a really good point I never really thought about. They were like, I celebrate my birthday these days because the world is so flipped up. Everything is so upside down. Life is so hard for a lot of people. Doesn't really matter what level of the socio-economic ladder you're on or how much you basically earn or where in the world you live. Life has gotten harder for everybody along the way. Post-pandemic type of thing, right? We're set into this new world, whatever it is, but it's got a little bit harder, but we're obviously adjusting to it. So somebody said, considering how hard life is at the moment, they like to celebrate their birthday just as a sort of way to kind of give them at least one bit that they can control throughout the year, at least one occasion where they can celebrate and have some fun. And I was like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. If life for you day to day is quite difficult and you find joy in just one event that you can actually control, one event that you know you're going to have a good time on regardless, you're going to have a good time. Usually having bad birthdays doesn't really happen, right? It's not really a thing. You usually create or usually kind of, make sure the environment is like suited to your needs. So it's unlikely you're going to have a bad time. So when that person said that, I was like, you know what? That's a really good point. That's a really, really good point. But to counter that, my only aversion to people who celebrate their birthdays are the type of people who celebrate everything. There's no time where they're having downtime, that everything is a turn up. So if your whole life is a turn up, or if your whole life is a series of events that you're forcing in order to document things for your Instagram, like some people are just literally living so they can have things to throw on their Instagram. If that's how you're living, no thank you. I don't want to see that, and I don't like you, and I think you're lame. But if you live an adult life, a young person's life, where you got your responsibilities, you got your leisurely activities, you got your circle of friends, you got your family, and from time to time or from year to year, you might want to celebrate your birthday, have a bit of a bonanza. That I don't mind. But I think at the crux of it, even though I hate celebrating birthdays, I think my major crux has always been being a burden on people. I don't like people burdening me. Like, I hate people burdening me with things, like giving me fucking responsibilities and making me feel like I'm fucking working for them, especially socially. Oh, you gotta come there, you gotta do it. It's like, bro, I don't have to do anything. I choose to do what I want to do, but I don't have to do something. Like, fuck off. You're not my mom, you're not my dad. Leave me alone. You're not my boss, right? You're not my mother, you're not my father. You're not the ruler of me. What that guy said in the pizza shop, right? Or the bagel shop. You're not my brother, you're not my mother. You don't rule me. Yeah? So I hate when people give me obligations. So I'm one of those type of people. I like to do unto others, I like them to do unto me. right? If I want you to goon on me, you let me goon on you, okay? If you can splurge on me, let me splurge on you, okay? And by goon, I mean cum, by the way. So I prefer it that people just don't burden people. Because I think most people that have birthdays, they don't leave it open-ended. Like, that's the thing that I realize. People are like texting you, like, hey, are you coming? Are you coming? No, I'm actually coming now. I just fucking checked out the Jocelyn Hernandez Playboy fucking editorial. I'm coming now, but I'm not coming to your thing, you know? So people don't even do open-ended. Because back in the day when I was younger, I was in school, people would do like open-ended birthdays. Hey guys, they'll send a little text around, like a big text announcing. Maybe like 3 texts towards the date, right? Heads up, reminder, last minute reminder. And like, hey, here's my birthday. It's taking place at this bowling alley. Here's my birthday. It's taking place in this pub in central London. Here's my birthday. We're all meeting at this restaurant here in West London. And then you would decide if you're gonna go or not. But no one's individually opening up another chat, another fucking DM window and texting you and saying, are you coming? Nah, it's just copy and paste announcement thing. That I'm okay with. Just like an alert. Hey guys, I put you to, don't worry, don't have to reply. You're in a group message. I'm just letting you guys know, here's my birthday. I'm celebrating here. If you can come. It'd be nice to see you. Boom. Then leave it open-ended. You know what I mean? Then if I'm in a mood, I'll come if I want to come. But don't send me bespoke. Don't send me an invitation. Don't send me a fucking direct message. Don't fucking be like liking my stuff. Like what some people do as well now. Oh, let me start liking your stuff so you see me. Nah, bro. I'm not some baddie. Don't be chasing me around like I'm some baddie or something. I know I've got a big bum and shit, but I'm not a baddie. All right? I know I've got a fucking massive derriere, but I'm not a fucking baddie. Don't be like chasing me around, liking all my pictures in a row so I can see a notification. I'll be like, oh my God, it's Barry's birthday. I forgot. Like, nah, I didn't forget. I don't want to come. Don't invite me. I don't want to fucking come. Leave me alone. Honestly, bro, I fucking hate it. I hate it. Obligations. Friendship obligations needs to stop. We're already being obliged. You get obliged to fucking pay your council tax. You're obliged to pay your rent or your mortgage. You're obliged to pay your fucking road tax, your petrol. Huh? You're obliged to fucking pay your Oyster card nowadays. Because, you know, we're big people now. We're not going to fucking bump the gates, right? You're not bumping the gates at your big age. So you're obliged to do all these things. Don't oblige me as a friend to do stuff. Honestly. You oblige me, I'm never speaking to you again. On God. On God in heaven. You oblige me, I'm never speaking to you again. Don't oblige me. Leave me alone. I understand you like your birthday. Enjoy. Get your little shitty fucking blow up balloons and your little fucking badge, right? Because, you know, go do your stuff. But leave me out of it, man. Leave me out of it. Most of us don't give a fuck. It's another day. It's another year. Life keeps on going. You know what I mean? You just level up. You pour yourself a little drink. My tradition nowadays, I'll buy myself a fucking box of Magnums. You can go on Amazon now and you could buy yourself a box of like six Magnums. I forgot, it's much better price than the off license. I'll buy a box of 6 Magnums. I'll leave them in the fridge, right? I might give myself a little baggie, right? I might get myself a little 8 ball of multivitamins. I'll crack open the fucking Magnum, look outside my window at all the people passing by, salute my fucking Magnum to the moon and to the universe, right? Take a bit of my multivitamins to the nose. Whoop, there we go, multivitamins. I'm now awake. A little swig of the Magnum. Boom, Bob's your uncle, Granny's your aunt. I'm done. I don't even post it on the stories. No one even knows, bro. No one knows. Try and guess my birthday now. Exactly, you don't know. I don't post it up on here. I'm not like, oh, it's another year. Hoping people say something and give me a fucking like. I don't give a fuck. Leave me alone. It's mine. I'm celebrating it. I'm doing this baggie on my own of multivitamins. I'm drinking this fucking, Magnum by myself. I don't need you to fucking acknowledge it. Like, fuck all that shit, man. Honestly. God damn, I fucking hate it. Also, these people are like, oh, thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you, everyone, brother. I've seen or what some people do nowadays. Some fucking dorks, some nerds, some neeks, some fucking idiots do nowadays. Hey guys, I seen all the birthday messages. I can't reply to every single one, but thank you so much for reaching out and sending me all the love. Thank you, guys. Like, who are you, man? You're not fucking Tyler. Who are you? Who are you? You think you're Sabrina Carpenter or something? Who the fuck are you? You're that in demand. I can't answer all the emails and all the things. Like, you ain't got that many, man. Just reply back. About you can't reply back. Just reply back, man. They sent you a message, reply back. That's the least you can do. I can't get back to everybody. You can't get back to everybody. You got 300 followers, Sarah. Sarah, you have 300 followers. You work as a receptionist, Sarah. Sarah, you have 300 followers. Reply back to the people, bro. About 50 of them probably text you. Reply back. 10 of them work with you. 10 of them work with you. 10 of them can see you right now. 10 of them can see you across the office right now. Reply back to them, Sarah. It's a bit too much. It's too overwhelming. I can't really reply back to all the messages. Sarah, put down the fucking croissant. Put down the fucking matcha. Huh? Put down the bubble tea and reply back. I can't go. Fucking donuts. Honestly, I already hate birthdays. Imagine I'm sending you birthday wishes. You don't even reply back. You don't even double heart the message. But then I see a story from you saying, sorry guys, I can't. It's a bit overwhelming. I'm going to be pissed. I already hate birthdays. I made the effort to send you a fucking birthday wishes. And now you're fucking giving me the fucking big time treatment. You're coming true like you're some fucking star. Like you're fucking Harry Styles or some shit. Huh? Fuck out of here, man. Double heart my message, reply back, or don't ever post another birthday message again. I'm warning you. Don't ever celebrate your birthday around me again. I'm warning you. Celebrate your birthday around me again. You know who you are? Exactly. Before I get really mad. Anyways, apart from that, I've had a great day. Apart from that, I've had a great day. I've had a great day. I'm super happy. I'm in the best mood ever, all right? Life couldn't be better. Life couldn't be better, all right? Cool. Anyways, talking about life being better and talking about life being good, can we speak about my main man? Can we speak about my main man, huh? Uncle Blackness, a.k.a. Shannon Sharpe. Can we speak about Uncle Blackness, huh? You know why. You've all heard the video. I'm sure you have. Don't lie. Some of you have probably rubbed one out, huh? Some of you did a little flicker of the bean. I know. Don't lie. Honey. So, in case you don't know, Shannon Sharpe, unfortunately, went live on Instagram by accident, allegedly. And in the background, all you could hear were moans and groans of sexual activity for like 4 minutes. Like, consistent. I was like, rah. That's the first thing that took me. I was like, shit, 4 minutes. No, like, breaks. All right, cool. If that's 4 minutes natural, if that's 4 minutes, no honey pack, no little blue pill, that's mad. I'm like, all right, cool, 4 minutes. And obviously, I think, like everybody else, I think I must have saw the clip of the Instagram live that was shortened. I think the official clip is like 4 minutes plus, but I think I saw like a minute of it. I didn't think much of it. Someone just said, oh my God, Shannon Sharpe just went live. If he's fucking some girl, you can hear the moans and groans. She's going crazy, he's going crazy, and you can just hear the noises of it. So I didn't think much of it. So I just, continued browsing on my feed. Then I saw another clip and another clip. And then people kept saying, oh my God, Shannon. I was like, how do people know it's him? Maybe he got hacked, because lately, the last few weeks, bare celebrities have been getting hacked on their social medias. So I didn't really think much of it. But then somebody said, oh my God, I can't believe he says in the clip, that's my Michelle. Right? Which is the name, a little play on the fucking title of the podcast. That's my baby. So in one of the video clips, because I didn't watch the whole thing, he says, like, to the lady that he's pleasuring, that's my Michelle. So I hear it myself. I fast forward to the section, and of course, Shannon Sharpe has one of the most distinct voices in media. That's probably why he's so famous and so well loved and whatever. He's got definitely a great voice for, like, entertainment and podcasts or whatever. So as soon as you hear, that's my Michelle, you know it's him. So the whole hacking thing was completely, like, put to one side. I was like, oh no, Shannon, how the fuck? And then immediately, Immediately. When I kind of knew it wasn't hacked, I was like, hold on. How do you go on Instagram Live like by accident? Now, I don't go on Instagram Live much. I think I might have been on Instagram Live like twice in my whole Instagram lifespan. But I'm sure to go on Instagram Live, you have to kind of like swipe to your stories. Then you have to swipe again to the instant. Like, you have to do quite a lot of things to get there. But generally, most people's phones, not sure about you, most people's phones have a lock on them, right? Most people have a lock. So you have to have your phone unlocked. And then to get to, I don't know. These days, it's even hard to fucking call somebody by accident. Unless you already opened the app. Like, sometimes I'll call someone by accident, but because I already opened the phone app, so now I have it in my pocket, and as I'm walking, the keys touch it and bang. But it's nearly impossible to, from your locks or from your home screen. From this home screen, I think it's nearly impossible to get on Instagram Live by accident. I swear to God it is. So immediately I was like, hold on, how could this have worked? And then I was thinking about it some more. I was like, oh, I know what might have happened. Maybe, this again, I'm just guessing. I have no inside information. I'm just a fucking peon talking from my mother's basement somewhere in the, whatever, right? I'm a nobody. But I think this might have happened. I think Shannon Sharpe, right? Like a good black man, right? Like a good black man, like a strong black man, probably has two phones, right? Probably has two phones, right? One for church, one for church, and one not for church. And most likely, the phone that's not for church is the one that, doesn't have a lock on it. Maybe it's the one that has more dirt on it and shit, and just a bit of the fun thing. Cool. So most likely, that girl that he was slamming in that room was most likely on the second phone, checking shit out. Maybe on the Instagram, doing what girls do. And I think when she was doing what she was doing, Shannon came into the room dieseled, like out of the shower. Like when black men come out of the shower. Like we come out of the shower like, right? Yeah, you come out of the shower and you're trying to fuck on something, right? It's like a Playboy Carti and The Weeknd. I'm trying to fuck on something, right? He came out of the shower like, he came out of the shower like, he looked over the bed. He saw her lying on her side, right? You know how man them like. She was lying on her side, right? Batty out. yo, pick up and
accidentally on purpose, am I right?
Yeah, you know that. You know it. Accidentally on purpose, he slipped in. So she was lying, big up Ranger. She was lying like that on the side, right? On the phone. Probably using the phone like that, right? She was lying down on the side, using the phone as girls do. He saw that fucking shape, and he was like, he was already on demon mode. And as soon as he saw the shape, he just came over and just probably laid it down. Just laid the piece down. Like, just bang. She's like, Shani, Shasha. Or whatever nickname she gives him. Shani, Shasha, what are you doing? Stop it, right? And he's not even talking, he's just saying, and then immediately, as he lays the thing down, that's when things start heating up. But she's still on the phone. She's still on Instagram. So as it's laying up and heating up, and he's just laying the piece all over her. She's like, Shani, stop, you're being stupid, you're wet. You're all wet, Shani. Right? He keeps laying the thing, and then eventually it gets to the business, but the phone is still in her hand. And as it's still in her hand, and she's like shaking, right? She's like fucking shaking and shit with a thing in her hand, right? She's fucking shaking. And maybe then her hand slips as she's shaking. She slips somewhere and it goes on fucking IG Live by accident. That's what I think happened. Like, she's shaking. She's fucking, Shani, shake club, shake. Like, she's doing, shake, yeah? She's doing all that shit, right? And then accidentally the phone goes on live, but it's still in the hand or it's under the fucking pillow. That's what I think happened. Personally. I have no knowledge, no information, but that's what happened. And to make matters worse, allegedly, in the background, you can hear Shannon's other phone going off. Like his friends are trying to call him. And his friends are good though. He's got good friends. Allegedly, his friends are trying to call him on FaceTime. Because allegedly with IG Live, if someone calls you on FaceTime while you're on IG Live, it cuts the IG Live. But they didn't know he was on his second phone. And that second phone isn't for the man them. That second phone's for the gal them. You know what I mean? Second phone's for the slaws. Or as fucking Black Youngster would say, whores. That's what that second phone's for. It's for the whores. So, like, you know, they were trying to call, they were trying to get that thing blocked off, but it wasn't happening. And you see all the messages of his friends trying to say something, and, you know, the moans kept moaning. He was happy. And at the end, you knew it was him at the end, though. You knew it was him at the end because he was growling. You could recognize his growl. And then towards the end, he starts kissing on her. And just from the size of his mouth and his nose and his lips, right? And how much he yaps, you could tell that was him, like, right? Just like, you know, just like a pure uncle, and just like super happy. Giving her tons of bizoos. Wet bizoos. Like, he was really in there. He was in there. Rah. So yeah, she got all the bizoos, and you knew it was her, you knew it was him, you know, and things went down. The hacking lie at the end was hilarious. I love the hacking lie. I'm not gonna lie. The hacking lie was good. But I also love that he kind of fessed up to it after the fact, admitted it on his show, did a whole stream about it. Him and Chad Ochocinco spoke about it pretty well, or in a funny way. Chad Ochocinco made, which I thought was a little bit of a homophobic joke. Or I'm just happy it was a Michelle and not Michael. I'm like, ugh, like, god damn, you know, fucking, you know, African American men and their fucking inability to not be homophobic is hilarious, bro. Legitimately, like African American men, like, I think if they saw two guys like kissing in the park, they might throw up. They are that homophobic. It's absolutely insane. Like, how would you say that? Like, I'm just happy it's Michelle and not Michael. I was like, bruh, like, okay, cool, whatever. But there's also that kind of narrative going out there. People are saying, oh, he did this on purpose because the rumors around him being gay were like really loud and would get on his nerves. And I'm like, bruh, really? You think he would care about people online saying that he's gay, and then he would potentially throw his career in jeopardy just to appease some people on the internet? Come on, man. Make it make sense. Not likely. I don't think that's true. I just think it was one of those unfortunate mistakes, but also another instance or another example why guys shouldn't trust men. Sorry, why men shouldn't trust women, sorry. Bloody hell, that was a nice fraudulent slip there. Why men shouldn't trust women. Like, that woman nearly got him in a lot of trouble, man. Allegedly, ESPN are still reviewing the case. I think there was a fake tweet that went out from a site, from an account that I thought was real, but it wasn't, alleging that he got fired from ESPN. I doubt that's the case. Hopefully, anyway, because it's a private matter, and it just went on the internet by accident. I don't think there needs to be anyone fired for that. And it wasn't, we didn't see anything. It was just background noise and shit, which I think was perfectly okay. Obviously, it's still embarrassing, but perfectly okay. And even, is it really even embarrassing? Maybe it's embarrassing he went live, but it's like, you know, whatever. It is what it is. But I'm happy to see people are kind of reacting to it in a funny way, sort of. It probably helps that he's likable. That probably helps. He's not like people don't like dislike him, so I think that might help with the reception online. But all in all, the jokes about it were hilarious. I love people memeing on it and shit. And hopefully he can kind of, you know, use it to his advantage. I think he's been doing a lot of like promos and ads for like, you know, Viagra companies and all that sort of shit. So I'm sure that's been helping. But apart from that, it was a good, funny little 24 to 48 hours of people on the internet kind of laughing about it. But then, of course, there were people online that took it too far and couldn't just laugh at the whole thing, enjoy the memes. Obviously, some fucking idiot, some dork of a woman decided to try and find out who the woman was. Like, oh, I went through his Instagram and looked through the names, and this person found like a woman called like Nichelle. By the way, like American people, like, and their fucking names. I've never heard of somebody called Nichelle. Have you heard of that? Instead of Michelle, Nichelle. Like, huh? So they blew up this person who wasn't even involved, and it wasn't the right person anyway. I was like, come on, man. Can't you just enjoy the memes? Enjoy the jokes. Enjoy the ha-has. Double tap some things to keep it moving. You don't need to go and find this person. So anyway, you know, they haven't found the person. Hopefully they don't. Keep it under wraps and just let people go on and do what they need to do in it. But don't be surprised if on Black Twitter, if they find out who the person is and this person happens to be white or, dare I say, Hispanic, all of the fucking black Twitter people will blow up and go, oh, he doesn't like black women. Oh, it's like, bro, like honestly, social media, especially Twitter, sometimes like the opinions people have online, it's like, God almighty, man. The expectations, like they want you to live your life the way that they would live. It's like, just enjoy the shit show, bro. The whole world is burning. The whole world's on fucking fire. You get to hear someone moaning and groaning, you know, fucking literally growling at somebody they're fucking, telling them like, that's my Michelle, which is the most boomery, like, I don't know, boomery sex talk I've ever heard in my life. Like, just enjoy the shit show, enjoy the memes, keep it moving. You don't need to turn it into a fucking, you know, discussion about interracial dating. It's like, my brain is about to explode. But gladly, that all kind of put to the wayside and everyone kind of moved on. But it was pretty fun, 24 to 48 hours. So big up Shannon Sharpe for providing the lows. Big up Shannon Sharpe for providing the lows. Moving on from the lows and moving on to something kind of sad. Bloody hell, bro. It doesn't end. The shit don't end for Diddy. The shit don't end. Like, it won't stop, can't stop. Another lawsuit. But this time, this lawsuit is a bit dicey because it includes Dawn Richard from fucking Danity Kane. You remember her? She's had a pretty decent solo career since leaving Danity Kane, or since Danity Kane kind of split up. She does a lot of like really cool, I'd say like electronic music, electronic infused R&B, which I would say really, really good shit. I really fucking like her. I think she's a really creative artist, and she's somebody that a lot of people would say has been close to Diddy over the years. So if she says something, it seems likely to be true. So this is courtesy of Diddy. It says, Diddy sued for monstrous behavior, allegations of brutality, and sexual abuse. There's actually a whole entire lawsuit over it as well, which I'm probably going to read over on another stream, dedicate the whole thing to reading over it, because some of the facts are pretty scary and pretty sad. I think there's a section in one of the lawsuit where it says she reports that she was at a dinner with Diddy and Cassie and a few other people, and Diddy punched Cassie in front of the whole table, and the whole table happened to have people like Usher and shit on there, and they saw the whole thing and just continued eating. And it's like, ooh. So I think a lot of people are going to look a bit bad if this is deemed to be true. So let's read the actual article itself and what happens here. It just keeps on going from bad to worse for Diddy. Let's read the actual entire one before we get to the update. It says, Diddy is facing another lawsuit from a new accuser, a former bandmate who claims the music mogul belittled, terrorized, and sexually abused her while she was also witnessed savagely beat his ex, Cassie. According to the lawsuit obtained by TMZ, Dawn Richard says that she caught Diddy in a web as participant. No, she was caught in Diddy's web as a participant in 2004, making the band, with Bad Boy CEO manipulating her by promising her to advance her singing career if she relented to this alleged twisted demands. Yo, I would love to see the show with fucking, what's her face? I forgot her name. The show about being a model and also making a band. Those type of shows make a comeback nowadays. With the way people are so sensitive, with the way people think nowadays words is violence, and they're all fucking about, you know, mental health and all that nonsense. I would love to see those type of shows nowadays. The amount of carnage and chaos those shows would cause on the timeline, the amount of protests and hashtags and movements, it would be delightful to watch. You know me, I'm a consummate anarchist. I would love to see it. I'd love to see Making the Band 2024 and all those fucking crazy stunts he made them do, basically bullying them, torturing them, keeping them up all night, making them walk from one side of New York to the other side of New York to go pick up a pie, like crazy shit, right? I would love to see it nowadays. Like, people don't know how hard it was to be a celebrity back in the day. Nowadays, you can prop your phone up in your fucking single room somewhere and shake your ass, and suddenly, you know, you could be the next big thing. Back in the day, to be a star, you had to do some crazy shit. You had to go on Rogan's show and like drink Donkey Kong and shit. You had to go on TV and have Diddy bully you and kind of belittle you and embarrass you and shame you in public. Like, you had to go through some stuff to make it. So those people, that's why those people are still around nowadays. They went through the real hard knock school of being a celebrity, not the easy way out nowadays, man. Anyway, let's continue. It says, the former Danity Kane member said that during an on-set audition, Diddy called female contestants fat, ugly, bitches, and hoes. This is kind of light, But nowadays, this sort of shit, like if you were a judge now on like The Masked Singer, if you were a judge on American Idol, if you were a judge on one of those type of shows and you called one of the contestants a bitch, even if she was being a bitch, if you called her ugly, even if she was objectively ugly, if you called that person fat, even if they were objectively fat, you would get cancelled so fast, your fucking head would spin. I swear to God, it'll be over for you before you even got back to your fucking hotel. If you said those things, and these are quite light. Imagine that was normal back in the day. Like, why are you crying? Man up, pull yourself up. You're embarrassing. Like, even that Gordon Ramsay sandwich thing they did. Remember that like iconic clip of Gordon Ramsay putting the 2 bits of bread on the either side of that woman's face and shit. You could never do that nowadays. That would be abuse. If Gordon Ramsay did that nowadays, that would be abuse. He'd have to pay that woman millions. You know what I mean? Like people got away with murder back in the days. Like you could really abuse people and to be fair, for us in general, it made for better TV. Let's be honest. Yes, those people suffered. Yes, they went through things. Yes, they haven't been able to recover. The mental anguish, But as viewers, that shit was entertaining. Like we were gripped. Like, I never missed a Kitchen Nightmare. I'd watch the reruns. That's how entertaining that shit was. That shit was real. And those people were hungry. They were hungry to be famous. They were hungry to have money, right? To have a place to sleep, to eat. They were hungry. And the presenters were also hungry to make a name for themselves. You know what I mean? Like, everybody won. It continues. She said Diddy had particular disdain for her because she was young and excited to work with such a famous person. What? Diddy hated her because she liked working for her. That is a mad line, isn't it? She said that Diddy had particular disdain for her because she was young and excited to work with such a famous person. Yo, Diddy's a real piece of shit. He actually hated you. The more of a fan you were of him, the more he hated you. That reminds me of like, that's actually quite common, isn't it? That's actually like, that's a little bit, with people that are abusive and manipulative, sometimes they despise you for allowing them to get away with their manipulative and abusive behavior, you know? Like, it's almost like, I think it happens a lot, again, I'm talking on my ass here, but I think it happens a lot in domestic violence abuse cases, where the guy sometimes will exert that dominance, that authority or that abuse on somebody or the woman and be extra mean, almost because he's trying to punish her for still being there. Do you know what I mean? Like, how could you put up with me? Like, I'm a piece of shit. And it's a weird logic, but I'm sure I read it somewhere. I'm sure I did. I'm sure I read it somewhere. It continues. In 2005, the court doc says that Richard saw another of Diddy's former girlfriends, Kim Porter, crying as she left the music studio with her face all banged up. It was then that Richard says, realized that Diddy was capable of violence and her life could be in danger. Look at this man though, man. But that's the thing, like, honestly, man. Honestly. Like, just look at his face. Just look at his face, bro. That guy is on demon. Like, that guy is demon time personified. Like, I think when people first used the phrase demon time, it was mostly like a horny freak thing. But demon time is him. That's demon time. Like, you know? That's fucking demon time. For real, for real. He'll spike your drink. Like, you're his friend, he'll spike your drink. Not even like some strange girl. Like, you're his friend. You're just feeling like, what? He's feeling like you roll the dice. He just spikes your drink. Fuck it. You know? Just on some, like, what? I know you, bro. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, just spike your drink. You wake up with no underwear. Like, what the fuck? Bro. What? Speak and I end your career. And he can actually end your career. Back then especially. Scary shit, bro. The fuck imagine all the stuff he's gotten away with from people that are too scared to come forward. These are big people coming forward. Imagine the ones who are too scared to come forward. Oof. Would you? It continues. A year later, Richard was present when Diddy was first introduced to Cassie, invading her space while transfixed on her in a predatory fashion. According to docs, in 2009, he says she personally witnessed Diddy, high on drugs, throw Cassie against the wall, choke her, and then drag her up a flight of stairs. And after we seen that video of him kicking the shit out of her in the hotel place with these towel on, we all know that's possible. Hopefully she got the bag. I'm sure she did, but big up Cassie for opening the floodgates. Hopefully she got the fucking bag. She deserves it, man. She suffered in silence for a fucking long ass time. It continues. Richard says that Diddy also hurled a scalding pan of eggs at Cassie while yelling, "I've been asking you for my shit. I can't stand you, bitch. You never do it right." What? You're making eggs. Imagine making eggs and wanting to throw it at your fucking missus. Usually when you're making eggs, you're in a good mood. Who doesn't like eggs? Scrambled, fried, boiled. Who doesn't like eggs? It's usually a good time, especially if you're making it for somebody else. Like, oh, how many eggs you want, babe? You want 2? You want 1? Like, it's a good time. How can you get mad making eggs? The guy's a piece of shit. On another occasion, Richard says that Diddy socked Cassie in the face, wrapped his hands around her throat, attempted to strangle her inside his LA mansion. It's actually a miracle he didn't kill that girl. Considering how much smaller she is compared to him, it's a miracle he didn't like kill her by accident, honestly. All this abuse. It's a miracle she didn't die. Fucking hell. God almighty. At some point, Richard says she and others, including her Diddy Dirty Money bandmate, Kalina Harper, showed their support to Cassie and advised her to leave Diddy, who found out about the conversation and threatened, "Y'all bitches don't get in my relationship. Don't tell my bitch what she need to be doing. Just make money. Shut the fuck up. I end artists. I shelve careers. You could be missing. You bitches want to die today?" Yo, I believe him, man. I believe him. I believe him, bro. There were stories. When this thing was first going down, I remember watching YouTube videos of random people saying there were stories of back in the day, Diddy going to LA, dolo, and chasing Suge Knight around LA with guns and shit. There's stories from people, certified people like involved in the music industry, certified like gangbangers saying, yes, we can vouch. There's stories, hood stories of Diddy going to fucking LA dolo with straps in a car looking for Suge Knight. And Suge Knight running around LA trying to like escape and not like be seen by Diddy. Like that honestly, it's always guys like that who are the scariest. Guys you least expect, you know? Fucking hell. Meanwhile, Rashad says she too became a victim of Diddy's abuse, forcing her to rehearse 48 hours at a time without sleep. As a result, she says she dropped a lot of weight and became dehydrated and fatigued while suffering awful rashes. Now, all the things we heard were horrible. But was this bad though? Because now, Richard is still a very legit artist. She probably ghostwrites a lot of people. She probably produces for a lot of people. She's a hell of a dancer, a hell of a performer. So although Diddy did, you know, was on demon time, was abusive, was a piece of shit, this kind of extraneous and crazy demands he put on these artists, making them rehearse for 48 hours straight, it served them good. Because now they're all fucking top tier artists. None of those people from Dan to Kane are not talented. They're all talented. They're all really good at what they do. If they want to come back, they can if they want to. So he left them with a good foundation. Again, piece of shit human being, belongs under the fucking prison. But when it comes to the art, you can't deny, man. You can't deny that recent album. That one that came out in September 2023, last year with the red cover. That shit might be one of the best albums of the year. But in the midst of making that album, he was allegedly, you know, sending fucking Young Miami around America in private jets carrying fucking pink cocaine and shit. You know? The duality of man. Can be a piece of shit, but can also create great art. God damn it. You know? God damn it. God fucking damn it. It continues. She says one time Diddy demanded she come to his home in Miami, where he was only wearing underwear. When she asked him to put on clothes, Diddy refused, screaming, "This is my fucking house." By the way, this is like a standard sexual abuser, rapist, creepy guy move, innit? I think every woman out there, every man out there, this should be one of your things that should be on the front of your mind. If you ever go to someone's house, or if they ever invite you somewhere and you see that person and they're only wearing a dressing gown or their underwear, run. Those are signs immediately. Like if somebody asks you, oh, let's only talk on, I think there should be 2 signs that you're dealing with a creep or an abuser. Number one, when they meet you for the first time, like alone, they're wearing their underwear, they're wearing nothing, or they're wearing a dressing gown. The second sign that you're with a weirdo, a creep, or an abuser or a rapist is if they ask you for a Snapchat. If they're over the age of 19 and they want to communicate with you on Snapchat only, run. If they invite you to the hotel room to, like, I don't know, work on some music, and you open the door and they're wearing their underwear, run. Please do that, because every story you hear of somebody being a rapist, and then he opened the door and he was wearing his boxers. And then he opened the door, he was hanging upside down on the fucking, you know, on the fucking windowsill with no fucking underwear on completely. Honestly, don't do it. Don't do it. Big up Koila in the chat. Big up Koila. You're about to go live, then Shannon Sharpe walks into the room with just his shower. Exactly. Honestly, run. Please, I beg of you. It continues. Diddy's treatment of Richard got worse, she says, between 2009 and 2011. Richard says that Diddy once barged into her dressing room while she was naked at his recording studio. She says, and Diddy inappropriately touched her breast and butt. She says also locked her in a car with highly tinted windows for 2 hours while she screamed for help, even calling her dad to help. He's probably like, this is my studio, bitch. If I want to touch you, I can touch you. That's the kind of abuser he is, I bet. I bet he's one of those kind of freaks. You're in my house using my electricity. If I want to put my hand on your leg, I can put my hand on your leg. It's like, ugh. Bro, what? But I bet you that's the kind of guy he is, like legit. Like, fucking hell. It continues. Richard claims her dad traveled from Baltimore to New York to free his daughter and confront Diddy. She couldn't just smash the car window with her feet or something. Threatening to report him to the police, but she said Diddy told her dad, think about your daughter, think about your daughter's career. Honestly, only celebrities can do that. If my daughter calls me distressed, panicked, you know how women are as well, crying, like sobbing, you can hear the bogey over the phone and shit, and says, Dad, like, Diddy locked me in a car and I can't get out. When I get there, I'm not having a conversation about my daughter's career. I'm getting my daughter out of the car and I'm also caving your head in. We're not having a civil conversation about the career, but because he's famous, people just let him get away with murder. That's a part of the reason why when I was watching the fucking what you call it? When I was reading, the Weinstein documentary, that's why one of the reasons why I was so fucking annoyed by the Weinstein documentary. I didn't like it, you know? I was really annoyed by the Weinstein documentary. Because as monstrous as Harvey Weinstein was, the real annoying thing about it was that he was sort of enabled and got away with that behavior because everyone turned a blind eye to the bullshit. Like, especially that one story, I think it was like an assistant or something. So somebody close to him, he tried to sexually abuse. She turned him down. But then when Harvey asked her about her friend, who was an actor, she recommended she go meet Harvey Weinstein. And when the girl asked her, hey, he's asking me to meet him at a hotel, is that cool? She says, yes, go, he's safe. And obviously she ended up getting abused. And it's like, bruh, I know this guy's a piece of shit, and I know I'm of the belief, like, if good exists, evil exists in the world, and there are going to be evil people out there in the world, but it's up to us, quote unquote, good people, to call out the evil. But if us good people are sort of like turning a blind eye to the evil or enabling the evil, then fucking hell, mate. Yeah, I mean, we stand no chance. We stand no fucking chance, honestly. But hey, big up Dawn Ricard. Really do appreciate Dawn Ricard for standing up and saying what she said. Really do appreciate her. Big up Dawn Ricard. Hopefully she gets her fucking bag because she deserves it. She put up with a lot of abuse, bro. She put up with Diddy when he was like at his most enabled. Like Danity Kane, Bad Boy era, when everyone thought Diddy could do no wrong. He was this musical industry savant and maestro. He had that incredible story about coming up as an intern and then becoming one of the biggest record label executives ever. The history with Biggie, his own history as a musician, producer. Like he got away with murder because he put out great songs. He put off great videos, like just visuals, everything. So he was allowed to get away with anything. So she really went through one of the dark periods. So big up her, man. Honestly, big up her. Big up her for having the courage to say what she said. And I'm sure it's only going to get harder now, but big up her for at least having the courage to say what she says. Big up Danity Kane. Big up Dawn Ricard. Big up Danity Kane. Big up Dawn Ricard. Moving on, I quickly want to touch on this. So, a lot of people have had a lot of bad things to say about Fred again. And mostly the Fred again thing, discourse is mostly centered around his background and his upbringing and the fact that he comes from wealth and shit, right? And the fact I think his parents have like a Wikipedia, right? Whenever your parents have a Wikipedia with links and shit and whatever, and you know, sections, you usually come from, you know, you had a decent upbringing, let's just say that. But to be fair, I think most of the coverage about Fred again, I think maybe writers have kind of gone out of their way to kind of describe him as an underground artist, which I think kind of triggers people because it makes them think like he's saying he's working class. I don't think he's saying that. I think calling somebody underground because they just started, like, surely you can still be underground even though your uncle's Brian Eno and you come from wealth, but you're starting up yourself. Like you have to start from the underground. Like you start uploading stuff on SoundCloud, you get no listens, then all of a sudden you get listens, you might get fucking signed, then you go up. But you have to start from the underground at some point. But I guess with Fred again, maybe that doesn't happen. And maybe as well, part of the issue is because he kind of has popularized this sort of like modern day version of jungle. Maybe you're gonna call it drum and bass music, whatever, right? Maybe a lot of people are annoyed because the actual pioneers of jungle have not really been acknowledged the way he's being acknowledged. I get that, cool. But, you know, time moves on. It is what it is. But for me personally, I'm all about the music. I'm all about the music. And when it comes to the music, I personally think those first couple of albums have been a bit dated. They're a bit dated. I think they sounded pretty good during the pandemic because they captured a particular moment. They were like a time capsule. All the voice notes, the feeling around it, it kind of captured that moment. But I think a lot of that music doesn't really exist well nowadays. It's not really popping the way it should, in my personal opinion. I don't really listen to those sort of tracks. And another thing why I wasn't a big fan of Fred again was the live shows. I played clips on the podcast before. I think some of his live performances are pretty shit. Unfortunately so, because he's obviously very musically inclined and talented and stuff, and I think the live shows should be a lot better than what they are. But when you listen or watch them, maybe when you're there in person it's different, but he really doesn't, it doesn't hit the same. It's just terrible. Like some of the improv, some of the beat selection, some of the execution in general, it's just like horrible to the ears. But I'm sure maybe it's a bit different in real life, so it's a bit strange. Like he's a producer, but then when he performs live, it's a bit terrible. But then, of course, that Boiler Room happened. That obviously changed everybody's mind. But sort of fucking amazing. And then this album dropped called 10 Days recently, right? And I have to be honest, this might be his best album. 10 Days might be his best album. Legit. 10 Days might be his best album. This is really fucking good. And I know a lot of hate around him. Maybe he's got an annoying face. You don't like the live shows. The crowd is too white. He's rich. Whatever. Put that to one side. Let's just talk about the music. The music is fucking good. The music is fucking good. If anything, the music itself, listening to this for the first time through, all the way through, it felt like a soundtrack. It felt like a score to a movie. Like legit, it felt like a score to a movie that I could kind of envision in my head, like a kind of, you know, a coming of age story of sorts. Maybe towards the tail end of the pandemic, like coming into this new world, trying to adapt, trying to kind of center yourself, find a career, connect with friends, lose loved ones, blah, 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 blah. That's what it kind of felt like. It felt like a score of a movie, like some sort of soundtrack of a movie. And legitimately on the entire album, there might be like 6+ singles on there. I swear to God, there might be, this album is so strong, there might be like 6+ singles. I would say the first like 12 tracks are probably the strongest, but it's also 20 tracks long. So for it to have 12 strong tracks outside of interludes means that this is a really good album. This is easily like 9 out of 10 for me, in my opinion, and definitely will be a contender for me for my end of year album of the year list. I swear to God. One of my favorite tracks on there, which I'll probably play as my tune of the day, has to be the one with the Irish kids on there. What's the one called? It's got with the piano. And I just stand there. Yeah, that one. Number 8, I Just Stand There. The piano section on that. God almighty. It's legitimately like, you feel like you're levitating listening to that song. I can only imagine what listening to Just Stand There will be like listening to him live. Having that live, maybe having a little pinger, right? Maybe taking a little cut of a little tab or something, closing your eyes, putting the headphones on. Ooh, I can only imagine how that experience would be. Like, wow. Like, just like levitating. Listen to that. Like, it must be fucking amazing. Another track that I really love as well is a track with Jimmy Legacy, actually. Big up Jim Legacy and Josie. By the way, Josie, like, such an incredible vocalist. Like, really unfortunate that a lot of Josie's great work was featured on the past Diddy album that everybody's ignoring now because of the lawsuits and shit. But Josie's like impeccable. Josie and Jimmy Legacy back to back on that track, like phenomenal. And then another track that I really love as well is the one right towards the end, which is Backseat featuring Japanese House and Scott Hardkiss. But the entire album from Fred Again is fucking phenomenal. Please check it out. It's amazing. There's a bunch of people that don't like it. Social media is going crazy, trying to, sully the guy's name, talking shit. But again, it's mostly because they don't like him as a person, which is understandable. But me personally, I like to divide the fucking, or separate, the person from the music. And sometimes the music is just so strong, you can't deny it. And I think this album, 10 Days from Fred Again, legit is his best album. And this, I think, will age way better than the previous ones. But there have been some people that haven't liked it and they've made their opinions very vocal. And one platform that hasn't liked it has been Resident Advisor, and they wrote a pretty scathing review of the fucking album that I'm gonna read here for you. This is courtesy of Resident Advisor. It says the superstar producer delivers another uncomplicated, largely forgettable LP that feels trapped in nostalgia loop. Like, forgettable, honestly, considering the amount of shit music that has been out this year. Come on, man. So RA says, call it luck, call it privilege, call it genuine talent, but this is hard to deny that in a few short years, Fred Gibson has achieved an extraordinary amount. So I wonder if a lot of the fucking hate towards him is just like also centered in jealousy, because unfortunately, I understand why some people get jealous in the dance music industry or the electronic scene, because the path to make it is just so different for everybody. One person can make it off the strength of just like one boiler room, right? Jada G, I think, was a one example. Like, she's toiling, doing her thing. No one really kind of is caring. But then one boiler room at fucking Deck Mantle and boom, she's a fucking star, right? The same goes for like High, right? She had one chance to perform, so I forgot where it was, and then she turned to a big star. Other people just toil away for years and years and years, and it never really picks up for them. So I can understand why the jealousy and envy thing can exist for some people, but I think some people are also just incredibly talented, and it was going to happen regardless. Like, if Fred Again was born on a council estate or born on a fucking estate, he would still have made it. The guy is really good at what he does. Like, let's not lie. The guy is really fucking good. He might not be the best DJ, live performer, I don't think, a little bit weird, but when he gets into the studio and he has to produce, that nigga can produce, right? That nigga can produce. It continues. It says the 31-year-old British producer Fred Again has been hitting the kind of milestones that most of his peers could only hope to achieve over the course of an entire career. His 2021 debut album, Actual Life, was a misty-eyed, house-infused journal entry that arrived in addition to his main job at the time as co-writing for hits for Ed Sheeran and Stormzy. Actual Life followed a suit in accolades, peaking at number 9 in the dance albums charts, amassing a nearly 500 million streams on Spotify alone to date. God damn, 500 million streams. Okay, since then, Gibson has released 2 more Actual Life collaborated with Romy and Sam Smith and Swedish House Mafia. Yeah, maybe the first Actual Life was good. Number 2 and 3, not so good. Earlier this year, Gibson won 2 out of 4 Grammys, even competing against himself in Best Dance Electronic Recording category. By the way, also need to give him props because Fred Again was responsible for also giving someone like Flowdown the opportunity to win a Grammy, which he did win. And I think Flowdown, again, I'm not too sure this is true, but I think Flowdown might be the first person from Newham, my borough, to win a Grammy, which is fucking phenomenal. So Flowdown's a fucking legend, grime legend, and just a legend of music overall. So to see somebody like that who I kind of grew up listening to win a Grammy, brilliant. So Fred again will always get props from me for that. It continues. Gibson has reached a point where he can announce a string of arena shows anywhere in the world with only a few days' notice and instantly sell them out. Unlike a lot of mainstream electronic producers, he's not an anonymous face churning out hits that disperse into the ether. His music is synonymous with his own grinning face shining out from behind the decks during a Boiler Room set or next to Skrillex and Forte and Coachella, which is lovely, honestly. I love the fact that his fans love him, and I love the fact that he enjoys playing for his fans. As you guys have heard from me plenty of times here on the pod, I've had some sometimes not so great experiences and interactions with DJs and artists and stuff in the dance music scene, right? And some of it might be my fault and my approach. Some of it might be their ego and whatever. But whatever it is, there is sometimes a feeling amongst some of these artists in the scene that they sometimes can't be bothered to really communicate, or they can't be bothered to give the fans any kind of love or appreciation. It's just more so like, I come in, I play my songs, you dance, I go away. I get paid, I go. Do you know what I mean? There's not really a lot of communication, not really a lot of community. There's not really a lot of connection, love, whatever. And at least with Fred again, even if it's fake, even if he's just playing a character, I don't give a fuck. At least he looks like he enjoys playing for his fans. He enjoys putting on a good show. He enjoys making them laugh, having a smile on their face, dance. Like, and also he makes an effort with the live shows too. He puts them in these crazy venues. Maybe the venues have a deal with him. I don't give a fuck. But the fact that he went to, like, I think he went to somewhere in Scandinavia and he did a show like on the side of the river next to a bridge, and there were a bunch of people sitting on the floor watching him as he's playing with his band, people standing on the bridge, people in boats as it going by, watching, taking pictures, like just amazing scenic places where you would imagine a lot of people would have a lot of memories. Like they'd really cherish that moment and be like, you know what, that was a sick moment. I saw Fred again at this amazing venue, one-off sort of thing. I saw him in the Coliseum. I saw him playing in the warehouse. Like, I think recently he did a live stream. I don't know where it was. Maybe it was somebody's house. It was some like rooftop somewhere. Really intimate sort of setting. So I love the fact that he does that. He as a big artist, he can do like really intimate things for like 500 people. Then he can also play in massive arenas for like, he caters to every, you know, every section of his fan base across the board. Like, it gives the same love. But I just wish the live performances were better. When you watch them personally, I think they're fucking terrible and they sound horrible. But at least visually they're good. Like, they puts on a good time for them and shit. They seem to have a good time. They seem to enjoy it. So that is also something that I like. It continues. It says, Gibson has reached a point where he can... Gibson presents his albums as audio diaries filled with spoken word samples of people he meets on tour and on tube and around the streets of London. It's his relatable quality that seems to be the most divisive among music fans. Relatable? Is he relatable? No, I just think he's personable. I wouldn't say he's relatable. I say he's more personable. He's like a human being, you know? He's a real human being. He seems chill. He seems cool. It's like Skrillex. I don't think Skrillex is relatable. That guy's a freak of a producer. He's been around for fucking donkey years. Like, no one, do you know what I mean? There's not many people as talented as someone like that. I think Fred again is just a personable. He seems like a chill guy. He doesn't seem like to have a, I don't know. He doesn't seem to have a super big ego. He seems to be able to say hi to his fans and speak to them and, you know, return some messages and maybe not leave them unseen. I don't know. I think that's more of the quality, I'd say. It continues. It says either it inspires devotion from his dance music casuals. Dance music, honestly, this is so insulting. So if you like him, you're a casual. But if you don't like him, like, come on, man. So it either inspires devotion from dance music casuals or zealous critique from those who rebuke the idea that a toff is finding outside success off the back of supposedly authentic British sounds neatly packaged for the masses. That's one thing that I hate as well, by the way, when it comes to music. Like, this whole thing is like, as if like, just because somebody comes from wealth, they don't have the ability to like, so basically they're saying that if you come from wealth, you're not permitted to like make grime music because of grime music's origins. You can't make UK garage. You can't make funky house. You can't make dubstep. Really? You can't make drum and bass. Really? You can't make jungle because you weren't born in a council estate. You can't make jungle because you had a fucking detached house because your house had a driveway. Right? Like, what? Come on, man. Because you went to private school, you can't, like, come on. Music is music. I just care about especially nowadays where there's a considerable lack of good music. Most people can say that. I think most people like, I go out of my way to try to listen to albums. I go out of my way to try to listen to albums, legitimately. But I think most people don't. Most people just listen to playlists. Most people just listen to snippets they find online, and that's it. They don't really give a fuck because the music isn't really there. There's not really that much demand. There's not really an urge to go and listen to new stuff because most of the new artists are pretty shit. So when there's someone comes around that is quite good, I think it's nice to give them a bit of, a bit of props, regardless as if their dad is whoever, if their uncle who's whoever. Like, just give the props to the music. Personally, that's what I would say. But again, what do I know? It continues. It either inspires devotion from dance music casuals or zealous critique from those who rebuke the idea that a top is finding outside success on the back of a supposedly authentic British sound, neatly packaged for the masses. This kind of discourse should be inane. Many producers come from moneyed backgrounds. They just don't expose themselves front and center, and like Gibson does. But it's had an exposed. What was he exposed? Exposed. But it's had an interesting domino effect. Anytime an apparently credible producer like Forte enters Gibson's orbit, sellout accusations start to get thrown around, a rare occurrence in an era when the lines between pop music and authentic dance music are more than blurred. Exactly, and I don't know, I think, personally, I wouldn't like to go to the shows. I think they're a bit of a mess, but clearly, artistically, Skrillex, Forte, and fucking Fred again, they seem to have a lot of synergy. They seem to get along. They're all pretty odd personalities anyway. So I'm sure it's probably nice for them to bump into people who are kind of the same as them, and they click artistically and shit, and the fans seem to love it. So I don't really have an issue with it, to be fair. And I wouldn't think, and if anything, Forte is huge. Forte isn't exactly underground, so how's he selling out Silence's Fred again? He's maybe not as popular as Fred again, but Forte is massive. Like, Forte is like not the underground. He's not the person that we all might have discovered playing in fucking Plastic People back in the day. Like, Fred again now is a big star, so this whole idea that he's selling out is like bizarre. Like, huh? How's he selling out being to Fred again? Like, it continues. 10 Days, Gibson's fourth album and first non-actual live-branded release, only slightly shifts the parameters of his quintessential sound. The LP is built around a sung vocals, including Gibson's hazy rhythms, uncomplicated melodic samples, meaning that he thankfully don't have to consider the implications of a landed gentry sampling construction worker in Atlanta. What? We don't have to consider the implications of landed gentry. Nor do we have to resist the urge to just flick Spotify for some late period burial instead. The content of 10 Days is still unmistakably Fred again, soft-hearted house and techno ballads with the Instagram Rio de Janeiro filter laid over them. Yo, that is so insulting, man. Come on, bro. That is so reductive. That is so insulting and reductive. Like, that, it doesn't, what sounds like Rio de Janeiro, like, what? Huh? It's just really good. Like, I think it's, how do you, would I call it ephemeral? I think it's just really good music, personally, for me. It's just good vibes. It makes you want to smile. It makes you want to see him live. It makes you want to be amongst other people. It makes you want to dance. It makes you want to go outside. It makes you want to touch grass. Like, I think it's a good album. I really fucking enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed it. And again, I've not been an enjoyer of Fred again albums, but I think this album is really good. They have a tendency to swing into to ponderous beatless stretches or build up to a saccharine Smith drone finales, as if they know that the final destination will ultimately be a short film produced by Nike, directed by a young British creative. Look at RA. Look, that's the thing. Like, I'm okay with RA doing these scathing reviews if it applies across the board. Because it's easy to dunk on Fred again, because Fred again's the kind of the scene whipping boy. But let's dunk on people that everybody's kind of sucking off. Let's do that. If you're really about this whole like scathing review thing, if we're going back to the RA of old, let's see RA keep the same energy with some of the other artists who they kind of run cover for, or they turn a blind eye to when they do some bad shit. Let's see that, because it's easy to dunk on Fred again because everyone's dunking on him. But I want you to dunk on the people who they're in bed with when it comes to the agencies, all that sort of stuff. Let's see if they keep the same energy. If they do, I'm fine. If this is just selective fucking politicking, then they can fuck off. But let's continue. Some songs feel like a copied homework version of other tracks. The Chica and Anderson collaboration places nods to Khalees and Andre 3000 Millionaire. This is a fucking great sample, by the way. It sampled really well. I think so. I definitely did it pretty well. Just Stand There featuring Northern Irish vocalist Soak plays like a more treacly version of Millie Brown and Annie Max 2012. Come on. Yeah, whatever, man. Does it sound good now? Yes or no? Like all this, it sounds like this, it sounds like that. Like, come on, man. This fucking whataboutism reviews are fucking lame as well. Do you like the track or not? The tracks that feel like direct tributes to older, better tunes tend to fare better than the majority of the album, which is hugely sentimental, but never sufficiently sharpens with edges in a to counteract all the mush. Glow, despite boasting 6 producers, Gibson, Fortet, Skrillex, Joy Anonymous, Duskas, and Paris, is a boilerplate EDM, youthfully euphoric but easily forgettable. Perhaps 6 producers work on it, contributes to the anonymity. Personally, I think it's really optimistic. I love the optimistic vibe of it. I love how happy and joyful it is, considering the other ones were a little bit more miserable and sad and maybe demure, right? For lack of a better term, because of the time that we're in. But I think now this album is really joyful. I really like it. I'm not gonna lie. I really fucking loved it. The album continues to struggle from there. 10 features the slippery gossamer vocals of talented London upstart Jim Legacy, but here he's largely used as another piece of furniture, a texture to blend into the Gibson rounded of house beat. Piece of You Need another collaboration with Joy Anonymous, aims for the exalted piano house, but like much of Gibson's music, it feels like it's playing from a distance, meaning that its washed out way of registers as meaning to convey a depth of nostalgia. In practice, it feels more like Gibson was struck by lightning while watching Skins club scenes and is forever doomed to make electronic music only fit to soundtrack forlorn glances, abject tragedies, and single tear dribblings from perfectly glossed eyes. Yo, they say he makes music for Skins. Yeah, that's insulting, bro. That's insulting. He probably wasn't alive when Skins was on air. Like, fucking hell. I personally liked it, but of course RA didn't. But I personally fucking liked it. I thought it was probably one of his strongest. Like I said, the track 10 featuring Jim Legacy is sick. Even this track with Sampha, Fearless. I'm not really the biggest Sampha fan. If you know, I think sonically, I'd probably choose like Dev Hynes, Blood Orange over a Sampha. You know, I'm not really been the biggest Sampha fan over the years. I think he's a bit overhyped personally, but I think he sounds amazing on Fearless. Obviously, I'm just standing there with this guy. That's one of my favorite tracks. I've been playing that replay. The Andre 3000 Khalees track sampled on this one. Track number 10 is pretty good. I also enjoy Where I'll Be. Piece You Need, I enjoyed. And one of my favorites is the last one, Backseat. I really do like it. I'm not gonna lie. I really fucking enjoyed it. So I think it was a really good album. Personally, for me, I really fucking liked it. But maybe I'm in the minority because RA doesn't, and everyone online is also agreeing with RA and saying, yeah, finally RA's back and they're being insulting. It's like, bro, let's let them keep the same energy. I hope they keep the same energy with other people and not just do this because it's Fred again and he's an easy target. Let's let them keep the same energy with other people, then I'll be happy. Let me see what some of you guys are saying in the chat. Sorry for abandoning you. I see a lot of people replying about this particular one. Let's see. What are you guys saying about this? What you're saying, big up to Netwatcher. When you're on that level and surrounded with so many like-minded people who are also top tier artists, inspiration and technical methods, you really can learn so much so quickly. Big up Ab Martinez, love you too, my friend. The way music is now, you just have to be in a room and observant and you can learn. Big up Netwatcher. Enter says likewise, I've been my dude. Coiler says, no one can tell me that I can't slow wine. Exactly. The patterns and bases of each track are usually the same. You can easily grift or drift between genres and think pieces and take pieces from everything. Headliners will do. What's up, Dallas? Big up, Game Bred Footballer. I expected some mad piano chord progressions upon first listen to just stand there. It's just him doing that same riff over and over again. If he's stemming the autist baiting, the vocal doesn't really fit, but I feel like it's just Disney music for people living in Disneyland. The vocal has no real melody. It's just there to break up a loop a bit and try to keep things interesting. Fred again could def make better music than this, but he's sticking to the blueprint, which is happening too much these days. The wee Norn Island lad is proper masturbatory to his whole presence. Actually, feels weird. Really? Okay, fair enough. fair enough. Personally, all the reasons why you said you didn't like it, I liked it. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I personally think it's his best work. I don't know if you can expect all of the things that you want from him. I don't think you can expect it because clearly he's kind of shown us what type of artist he wants to be. I think these sort of like audio diary format thing that he does, although it's kind of annoying with the voice notes and the little tidbits here and there, I still think it works for him. Why kind of, why try to fix something that's not broken? And clearly the fans love it too. And I feel like this is a really good, I don't know, I think he does a good job of like making stuff that sounds good in your headphones and making stuff that will sound good if you watch him perform live, which I think a lot of people don't tend to do nowadays. Like usually a lot of stuff like only sounds good on your headphones or sounds good only in the club. But I feel like he does a good job of like being able to meld those two pieces together. So that he deserves a lot of credit for. And just in general, like, there's no one doing what he does now. Like if he didn't exist, like there'll still be a gap for someone to do that sort of sound, whatever it is, right? Whether it's kind of like, him taking all these different sounds and sort of like funneling it through his kind of eyes, taking all these inspirations, these genres, copying some of these iconic tracks and kind of making his own version of them. I still think he does it pretty well. The only thing I don't like, again, like I said, is his live performances. If he just would sharpen up the live performances, whether it's the DJ sets or the live sets, I think he'd be a really well-rounded artist that could really be doing some interesting things in the future. But for me now, I feel like he's a much better producer and artist than he is a live performer. Live performances so far have been pretty terrible, and I've seen quite a few of his live performances, so I'm a little bit annoyed by that. But I think over time, he's still young, he's only 31, he's got time to kind of grow, artists and mature. Hopefully we see more of that going forward, so fingers crossed. But I definitely enjoyed it. Check it out. It's called Fred Again, 10 days, available now on all digital streaming platforms, Next on the list, I want to also play, actually, because I haven't listened to it yet, so I want to play with it live, courtesy of this little podcast I do here. I want to play the new Kendrick Lamar record. So Kendrick Lamar put out a record just the other day, and everybody's going a bit crazy for it. So I want to actually see what this fucking Kendrick record is saying, so that we can then react to it together like a family. So let me actually get up the Genius part of it, because then I want to read the lyrics after, but I want to give it a one listen, because I usually don't like listening to it with the lyrics first. I want to give it a listen first through, and then we'll go through the lyrics and see what he's saying. But he put out a track. Maybe the timing's a bit weird. I feel like it wasn't necessary. He won the battle, and clearly won the battle. I feel like even though Drake's my favorite artist and I still listen to more Drake than Kendrick, he clearly won the battle. But maybe all this noise around the Super Bowl thing has maybe prompted him to kind of come out and say something. But I don't think he needed to say something. Even if Drake wants a round two, there's no real need to go out there and put out another record because you won, and because you win, you get to dictate the next terms. You know what I mean? If you don't want a round two, if you're happy to just take your win and keep it moving, you can do so. No one can force you to do a round two. So I don't think he needed to fucking put out this record. But maybe this is completely separate to everything. Maybe it's just a standalone thing. Maybe this is a primer to an album that's meant to be coming out, because you'd imagine with the Super Bowl, you want to take advantage of that, announcement and also put out an album, which I'm sure you'll probably do. So maybe we're all reading too much into it and it's not really that big of a deal, and you just put out the record to put it out. But let's read it. Let's check it out anyway. This is courtesy of Kendrick Lamar's Instagram account. The track's called Watch the Party Die. I don't think it's out yet on digital streaming platforms. Let me actually check my phone if it's out. Is it out yet on DSPs? I don't think it's out yet on DSPs. Let's actually check my phone. No, it's not out on DSPs yet, but I'm assuming it will be out soon, but it's not out just yet. So let's actually play this record and see what Kendrick Lamar has been saying. This is Kendrick Lamar, Watch the Party Die. Let's go, put this on the screen, there we go. just thoughtful and substantive and shit, I don't even want to read the lyrics. I just want to go off the strength of that first listen and kind of give my interpretation. It's a bit of an odd one because the cover art is obviously a pair of beat up black Air Forces, and we know culturally what black Air Forces mean, right? They mean fucking goon time, right? They mean robberies, shootings, violence, just bad things, right? When you see black Air Forces, right, it means you're up to some badness. So you got a pair of beat up black Air Force Ones that allegedly this picture came from an eBay listing as well, which is fucking hilarious. But then you've got the beat itself that's proper chill, lounge bar, cocktail bar, beach, chill vibes. But then you got the contrast of the shoes on the cover art. So quite clearly, and he's obviously the content of what he's saying, you can see this is like an internal struggle that Kendrick is going through. And in the title, right, of the track itself, it's almost like implying that he's a little bit upset. He's in a weird position and maybe a little bit annoyed at the position that he's in, and maybe with the response that people are having to records or even to how they're responding to Drake and shit. Especially when you think about the things that he said about Drake, it's maybe made him question everything about life, about the industry, about morals, principles, all this sort of stuff. And maybe made him fucking also realize why some people are on just pure badness, because the world is just full of morally corrupt, godless, people out there that will do anything for a bit of fame and attention. So maybe that's what the struggle is kind of having internally, which is why we see this contrast between the cover art and the beat itself, and maybe the content of what he's saying, and the restraint in some of the things that he's not saying, but implying through some words and vaguenesses and innuendos here and there. And and I get there's a lot of like, also it kind of feels like message wise, it's like, I'm just gonna let the chips fall where they may. Like I've already proved to you that I'm the better rapper, I'm the better artist, I think I'm the better person, man, whatever. But I'm going to let the chips fall where they may, because there's a lot of tomfoolery going. Because we have to also be honest, as a culture, as a society, we're in the age of tomfoolery, right? A lot of people who are just unashamed and just have no scruples to kind of embarrass themselves and embarrass their family, whatever, for the sake of a couple of bucks, are the ones who are winning nowadays in life, right? The more shameless you are, the more ability you have to kind of make loads of fucking money and to be famous and to kind of propel yourself up the charts and get all this notoriety and shit. So I think for people like an artist, right, with a capital A, like Kendrick Lamar, maybe that's annoying, right? Maybe that's fucking annoying. When you think you're incredibly talented, when you think you're a proper artist, when you actually try to make music that uplifts, informs, soothes, and then the things that people are turning up to are what you would deem to be destructive and detrimental to humans in general, not just the black people, right? That's got to be frustrating to see and to kind of see play out in real time. And maybe the change in face of people, the flip-flopping, maybe a part of him also maybe is annoyed that a lot of Drake fans who were stans of him have also jumped on his train. It's like, no. I actually want you to ride harder for Drake. Don't come and now jump on my hype train because I killed your boy. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that makes it like, that kind of like realization that, oh my God, this industry is fucking full of fucking, spineless people and shit. But that's the kind of vibe that I get from it. I don't really get that this is a war record. I feel a lot of people are thinking, oh, this is a dub. This is a fucking, he's sending for Drake. Obviously, there were some bars there that were meant for him. There's obviously some bars there that felt like they were meant for fucking academics. The thing about gluttony was fucking hilarious. But I don't feel this is an entire war record. I think this is more so an introspective, verbal diary sort of thing, right? That was also shared to the world. He's had plenty of demons on his record before. But one thing that's really good as well, and this has nothing to do with him because it's obviously not his album, but it's just nice to listen to Kendrick rapping it. He could be rapping about the fucking ABCs. Listening to him rap is just so pleasurable on the ear. It's a like, that's the thing that I'm really sad about when it comes to like Big Sean. Because clearly he's going for a bit of a metamorphosis. He's trying to change and evolve and develop into another artist. But this recent album he put out was just a bore fest, right? It's completely horrible. I thought so. And really not that great. And a lot of it just has to do with the fact that, is it really pleasurable to listen to Big Sean rap? It's not really. He's a good rapper, don't get me wrong. Very talented, clearly. But Kendrick just raps very well, His economy of words, like his tonality, breath control, the way he rides the beat, like his flows, he's he's just a really good rapper, like really good rapper. You can literally just jump on like a little jazz instrumental and just say a couple of bars and have you just spinning. He's fucking pleasurable to listen to, like really pleasurable to listen to. So, again, not the greatest track he's put out recently. I don't think it's necessary considering that he won the war, he won the battle. Sorry, the war maybe still continuing. He can still tell, you know, Drake to kick rocks. I don't want to do a round two. I don't give a fuck. I buried you, which is perfectly fine to do because he won. You can call the shots. So I don't think it's necessary, but I don't think it's completely aimed at Drake. It's just like a, hey, I need to get this off my chest, you know, and I understand. So big up him. You know, love to see it, and I like that he gets as annoyed as I do watching Academics. I'm not gonna lie, because I love Academics. I watch his streams all the times, but sometimes listening to him speak and then watching him as a person and then trying to marry up his opinions and his, you know, because nowadays even Academics, I feel like, I don't know, it's odd. He's got into this phase where he's starting to think that all the things that he's saying about artists are informing their decision on how they make art. It's like, bro, like, yeah, you may critique some of their music, but I don't think they are making different types of music to appease you. Like, you're not music guy, you're the first week sales guy. But now he's like in this head, he's like, oh yeah, I said this thing about this rapper, that's why they're now making these songs, they listen to my advice. It's like, huh? What? How can you think that highly of yourself? Like, yeah, so, you know, the music commentary seems all over the place. Everyone flip-flopping, people like him. Then you got the Ebros and Charlemagne's of the world who are just, you know, agenda and fucking propaganda laced. It's a mess. So I understand his frustrations, and I'm glad that he vocalized it and put it on record. So big up fucking Kendrick. Love him and can't wait to hear the album. And yeah, man, love Drake also, because I think they brought out the best in each other. I'm not gonna lie, this battle's been the best for fans. For a fan like myself who loves fucking Drake, it's been amazing because we got to hear some great Drake records. We got to hear him hungry again. We probably wouldn't have got 100. Like, everyone's saying, oh, Kendrick wouldn't have got the Super Bowl without the beef with Drake. Duh. But I don't think we would have got 100 gigs if Drake didn't lose the battle to Kendrick. So I think, you know what I mean? Both sets of fans have won. And me being more of a Drake fan, I've definitely won because we've got some good records that I'm now still playing because, you know, they're fucking some of the best stuff that he's put out. So big up them too. Fucking love to see it. Honestly, I'm so happy to see it when it comes to them too. And I can't wait to hear more from them going forward. And then we got a couple more things I want to quickly jump onto before I have to leave you guys. Let's quickly go over this particular stuff regarding Boiler Room. So Boiler Room has some new pieces out for their fall 2024 collection. Randomly, Boiler Room had Cobra Snake shoot it, you know. Cobra Snake, the legendary party photographer, is now back in vogue because everyone's doing this whole like fake redux of the Y2K trend, right? Everyone's trying to replay that and wear the certain trends from the early 2000s and whatever, you know, things come in cycles. So I guess this flash photography, this photography in general of clubs and shit is now becoming a thing. And Cobra Snake has now been having a bit of a renaissance. Even though he's still been doing his thing, he's now had a bit of a renaissance. I think the biggest thing that he's done recently that everyone's kind of culturally spoke about was the Charlie XCX, I think, birthday party that she did somewhere in New York. So he took a lot of the pictures in there and they look pretty cool. Loads of nostalgia involved in that. So he's now doing it with Boiler Room, which is pretty cool. Which might be a bit odd because I think nowadays I feel like the trend now, most clubs, most festivals, most nights, is to have the no photo policy. But if you wanna do the whole Y2K trend, you're gonna have to let people go in with clubs, with cameras and with the flash on, because that was a big part of clubbing back then. You'd always like have the flash flickering at the corner of your eye. Someone would be taking pictures somewhere. So that, you know, it's probably a little friction going on there. But regardless, let's see what the collection is saying. This collection of Boiler Room. It's a shot by Cobra Snake. The fall 2024 edition of the at the London Festival as well. So this was shot at the London Festival. So let's see who was featured here. So who was featured on the London Festival? All the people featured, and actually let's see it close. So you got your quintessential Boiler Room t-shirt, which I've always been a big fan of. The logo is pretty cool. You got one with that fucking graphic that everyone's getting tattooed on them. That sort of like weird gothic flame sort of thing going on, which I'm not too mad at all. Another one with the same sort of type of logo. This is well featured with a small Boiler Room print on there. That might be one of my favorites. I think that actual t-shirt might be my favorite. That's a really nice one. You've also got this jacket. Oh, the parka's nice, isn't it? You got a really cool jacket. It looks like it's been tie-dyed with two really big front pockets there. It's like a shell jacket in blue. I like the look of that. I think the same jacket as well comes in green. You've got another tie-dye print t-shirt here with the Boiler Room logo. You've got a t-shirt here that features an image. Oh, awesome. They're doing a photo print now things as well. That's pretty cool. You got this little dot t-shirt printed on there on the hoodie. You've got another tonal. I like that actually. The tonal t-shirt is pretty sick. That's nice. I'm not mad at that at all. Oh yeah, big up Lolo. Big up my girl Lolo. But Lolo's in there as well. What's she wearing? That's a Boiler Room t-shirt that features a really cool graphic. I'm not sure who does the artwork, but that artwork is pretty cool. It's an angelic lady with wings and headphones on and roses all around her. It looks pretty cool with tie-dye as well. Big up Lolo. We've got, what else was there? Oh, we've got some knit sweatshirts actually. Pretty cool. We've got some knit Boiler Room sweatshirts. To be fair, this is a bit naff. I don't think I'd wear this. This is a little bit cringe. These knit sweatshirts, as nice as they are, they're a bit cringe, but you know, maybe it's just me. There's also a towel available, another t-shirt, another jacket. We've got another hoodie here as well, and again the long sleeve. But yeah, the stuff is really good. The stuff is really fucking good. I'm not gonna lie. Holy Techno hoodie. I don't like the little metal loops on the drawstrings here. Look a bit shit. Not liking that. There's another jacket. Oh, look at that jacket. That jacket is fucking fire. It's like a what? Is that a moto jacket? Is that a bomber jacket? That looks pretty nice. Not mad at that as well. Yeah, the towel's hard, isn't it? Yeah, the towel's really nice. The towels are obviously a no-brainer, especially for, you know, Boiler Room events. Notoriously never have air conditioning, no matter where they are. Even if they're outside, there's no air conditioning. So that's pretty good. I'd love a fan as well. I'm not gonna lie, I'd love a fan too. That graphic is harder. Wherever that graphic is, this is maybe my most favorite. This graphic here with this sort of like heart graphic-y type style thing going on. I love that. Again, the knit sweat. Oh, the knit sweatshirt here looks pretty decent. I don't know, man. Don't know if I'd wear it. I mean, it looks a bit nice. It's like, are you begging? I don't know. Maybe it's just my head, my pride and shit. It looks like you're begging it. Do you know what I mean? Wearing this sort of stuff, like you're begging it, like to work there or something. Do you know what I mean? With this massive fucking Boiler Room on the knit sweat. I don't know, but it looks still cool. Oh, look at the okay. The graphic on that tee is really nice. That is really fucking nice. I'm not gonna lie. I would have loved this in a long sleeve. I swear to God, I would have loved this Boiler Room tee with this fucking demonic angel woman with headphones on. I would have loved this in a long sleeve. This in a long sleeve would be so sick in tie-dye. That would be so fucking cool. But alas, it's just a t-shirt. And then we've also got a classic hoodie as well. Oh, is that diamond? Is that been bejeweled? Oh, we got a bejeweled hoodie too. I'm not mad at that as well. And then that's it. So yeah, big up photography by Cobra Snake. And then we've also got another one collaboration that they put together with Umbro. You seen this? They've also got collaboration with Umbro. Umbro collaboration, bro. We partnered with Umbro on our second collaborative collection, a uniquely sports-coded club capsule primed with a dance floor and pitch. So again, I'd much rather, if you're gonna wear like club clothes, you'd probably be more. I think it's probably a good idea to wear this stuff than is it the stuff made by, what's his fucking name? I've got the DJ. Is it 44 Club 44? I forgot what the fucking name is. But that sort of stuff is super expensive and overpriced. Even 032C sort of stuff is. You know, I love the magazine. You know, the stuff is overpriced. I think I'd prefer to wear stuff like this, right? Like from streaming platforms. You know, you wear like Kindred clothing, Whore clothing, Boiler Room. That would be pretty cool because they're gonna make some cool shit. And they're actually investing in it. It looks like they've got actual designers working there. Like, this stuff is really cool. And Umbro's a dead brand as well. Like, Umbro's a fucking dead brand. And this is pretty fucking cool. Apart from the stuff they do with, like, Japanese brands, collaborations. But this track jacket is really nice. You got this nice track jacket in, like, a black and a grey. To be fair, it kind of looks a little bit Uber delivery driver, right? If that had a hood on it, that might look like a delivery driver type of jacket type of thing. But I still don't mind it. You've got this Wrangler sleeve track jacket with, I think, 3M piping. I think this is like 3M piping, I'm pretty sure. And you've got logos on the chest. You've got an Umbro logo and a Boiler Room logo on either side. And I think they're also 3M. And you've also got the Umbro logo here, which is pretty cool on the sweatshirt. You've got the Umbro sort of like diamond logo thing. And then underneath in Umbro font, you've got written Boiler Room. That's pretty hard. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty fucking hard. And I'm sure that's a tracksuit that matches. You've also got a jersey here. An actual kit jersey is pretty cool. Which I don't mind as well. There's a jacket. Oh, no, that's hard. I'm taking it back. Even if it does look like an Uber delivery driver, that's fucking. I'd wear the fuck out of that. That is really fucking good. That track jacket is fucking amazing. I don't mind that at all. You can also wear it without no t-shirt. I don't think you can do that if you're black because we sweat a lot. So maybe you might need to do a t-shirt underneath that. There's again, the jersey also comes in a long sleeve in navy blue. I'm not mad at that in the slightest. They also, and there's a hoodie. There's a hoodie too. That's pretty cool. In black. There's another t-shirt jersey again in, there's also some shorts. I'm not mad at that, especially going out. I'm not mad at that. Some shorts and a pair of Dr. Martens and the shit at the club. Yoy. Maybe Umbra should do a collaboration with Dr. Martens. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, the jersey's nice. The shorts are nice. The jackets are nice. But obviously the standout piece has to be that track jacket. That track jacket with hopefully it comes with matching track pants. I'm sure it does. That's definitely the standout piece. And as per usual, when it comes to pricing, Boyroom do a good job too, because I think it's always fairly priced, in my opinion. Considering it's like merch, considering it's like elevated merch. Let's not even call it merch. I think it's quite insulting to say it's just merch. I think it's like elevated merch. I think the pricing is pretty good, in my opinion. Like long sleeves are 55. Is it 55? Yeah, long sleeve 55. T-shirts 45. The bomber jacket that I had like the look of is 170, which is about the same price you'll pay for like a Stussy jacket, maybe a bit cheaper. The shaggy knit with the boiler room written on the back of it is 160. T-shirts again are 100. Oh look, sick. They've got the scene from the boiler room. Oh, sick, from the legendary K-Tronado boiler room. It's probably the wrong frame though. If I was being nitpicky, I say it's the wrong frame, the wrong screenshot. Maybe you'd want the frame where the girl to the left is sort of like her eyes are rolling and K-Tronado's kind of looking at her a little bit like, what the fuck's up with this girl? I think that might be the best frame personally. Or maybe the girl didn't agree. Did she sign the release? Maybe she's not. I don't think she's even featured there actually. Oh no, she's there. But yeah, that's pretty sick. Iconic boiler room or legendary boiler room sets. Emblazoned on the shirt. There's the Archangel t-shirt is 50. Another big one that I like. What's that one as well? Is that the Dancer hood? That's a really good one. Holy Techno is a really good one. And what's that? Is that a beer mat or slip mat? Okay. Oh, nice. There's Blog House t-shirts too. Not too fond of those ones. Eurodance, I'm not too fond of those ones. But yeah, decent stuff, honestly. The pricing is really good. There's so many good options to choose from if you want to wear like clubwear stuff. Like there's no need to like go to those like double R label nonsense and make them overpay you for a fucking baggy oversized t-shirt. Allow it. Like Boiler Room do great stuff as well. I think Hall have some decent merch out. I'm not sure Kindred do any good merch, but I think supporting these type of people is way better. Or just buying from Stussy and stuff. But really good shit from Boiler Room. Big up them. Love it. So that's been it, my friends. That has been the Action Zinger Show, episode number 817. 817, the Action Zinger Show. Hope you've had a good time. I've had a good time. If you haven't had a good time and you're watching the show live, please make sure you like the stream down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Just like the stream down below if you had a good time. If you're listening via the podcast site, please leave me a 5-star review. That'd be greatly appreciated. Links and everything will be down below as well for you to check out. And my tune today, if you're listening to the audio side of the pod, will be Fred again. Just Stand There. For those of you who enjoyed the album, definitely check it out. Give him a chance. I think it's really good. Just Stand There is one of my favorites, so definitely make sure you check it out. But thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care, my friends. Thank you for listening and have a good day. Peace.